Welcome to the next edition of Athletics Player Profile and Prediction. Want to thank you all for joining us along this journey as we get closer and closer to opening day. Today, we're going to do our second player on the projected opening day roster, and we are going to stick behind the dish with projected backup catcher Jhonny Pereda, number 64, on your Athletics. He was acquired on January 30th of this past year. So I believe he was placed on waivers by the Miami Marlins on January 27th. And then the A's acquired Pereda in exchange for cash considerations 3 days later. So a little bit about him. He is Venezuelan born. He did make his MLB debut in 2024 for the Marlins. He appeared in 20 games where he batted .231 with 4 runs batted in, no homers. He actually did get his one of two fun facts here. He actually did record his first MLB hit against NL All-Star Hunter Green and recorded his first RBI too as well. So that occurred on August 8th. That was a pretty cool way for him to kick off his young career. So heading into this year, he has only appeared in 20 games at the big league level. So certainly someone that doesn't necessarily bring a lot of MLB experience, but he has been in the Red Sox system and the Marlins system too as well. So he has played professional baseball for a little bit. He is 28 years old. And another fun fact, he did win the 2019 Minor League Baseball Gold Glove award at the catching position. So certainly some promise there. However, when reviewing his scouting report, there are some areas that provide some hope that he can fill in and be a positive backup. And then there are some areas that he needs to improve on. So defensively, he was seen as someone who has a solid catch frame, but can get a little bit more consistent with his receiving. So I think that was something of note. It seemed it was a little bit inconsistent. Wonder with him being in big league camp this year, he'll be able to fine-tune that a little bit. His service purpose behind Shea Langeliers as the starting catcher. Offensively, he does have good bat-to-ball skills. So there isn't going to be a ton of power here, but this is going to be an area where he's not going to strike out a lot. So on days where Langeliers needs a rest, or maybe he gets pinch run for late in a game, and then they go to extras and he need Pereda to fill in. If he does have to get to the plate, don't expect an explosive power output, but he's going to give you a quality at bat. He is someone that's been revered as controlling the strike zone, not really going too far outside of it. So that's exactly what you want from your backup catcher. It's not going to be necessarily someone that's going to be putting up, consistent 2 for 4, 3 for 5 doubles and homers. You want someone that is going to fill into that role, and there isn't a noticeable jump off between the catcher when he's in there as compared to when your backup is. So it's really kind of a mystery here just because he is so young in terms of at the big league level with only having those 20 games of experience. But I do think there's plenty of upside here. I do think he has a good build, and I think he is going to pick the brain of Langeliers and the coaching staff, and they'll have him in a position that he'll be ready to go. And thanks to the durability of Langeliers too as well, the starter, this isn't going to be someone that's going to play a ton of games, I wouldn't imagine. But it is essential to have that backup in place nevertheless. And those games that he plays in could be the make or break between a team on the border of making a wild card spot or just being on the outside looking in. So it's really important that, when the offense may drop down a little bit at that position, that the defense remains the same or maybe even a little bit better. So like I said, because it is so unknown, we'll have to wait and see. There isn't too much information on Pereda here further than this. He is the only additional catcher on the 40-man roster right now, so you have to imagine that he is going to be, at least coming out of spring training, the backup catcher. I know there are some other candidates in-house that are competing for the same spot. Catcher Kyle McCann, who was the backup last year. He was actually, I think, outrighted to AAA Las Vegas. He's not currently on the 40-man roster. I'm sure that could change if production changes. We'll have to keep an eye on that. And then there's catcher Daniel Susak. He is a non-roster invite also to camp. But don't really imagine him playing too much, if at all, above AA this year, Midland, unless he really goes off. But you never know how the roster shuffles out and how need is requested. So someone to definitely keep an eye on, the number 11 prospect in the A system, Susak, someone that's definitely on his way. And if not this year, maybe next year will make his appearance. But someone that's definitely in the running. And, these spring training at bats matter for him when he gets them, and really show the coaching staff where he's at in terms of his current development. But this isn't about Susak. This is about Pereda, just going over the in-house candidates. And then you do have first baseman Tyler Soderstrom, who we will talk about here shortly in a future player profile and prediction episode. But he is someone that also can catch, and he has been taking reps behind the plate. So depending how it all shakes out in terms of matchups, you may see Soderstrom get a couple starts back there. Because with prospect Nick Kurtz on the way, who's the first baseman, their first round draft pick recently, he's someone that may fill in sooner rather than later, especially if he has a thunderous spring. I do see Kurtz as someone that may be starting at AAA, but could crack the big leagues this year. So someone to keep an eye on there. But for now, Pereda is going to be the backup. He's they have him projected right now at 32 games. And, we'll jump right into our over-under. So this is what we're going to do. Didn't do it in the first player profile and prediction episode. We actually are going to have a follow-up episode, a short posted there on our YouTube channel as well as our social medias for you to see our over-under for the last one we did, which was Shea Langoliers. Check out those areas of content to see what our over-under was. But for this episode moving forward, we're going to pick one thing from there, or one stat from their projected stat line for the 2025 season, and just make a little fun prediction, and then we'll get on out of here. That's how these episodes are going to go. It's going to be one a day, all the way up until the day before opening day, where we will culminate it with a team profile episode overall. So this is a good way for all the A's fans. Just as a reminder, for those that have been riding along with this team, just remember who's projected to be on this opening day roster. And for all new A's fans, young and old, this is a good way for all of us to learn the roster together too as well. So this is for everyone's benefit, and that's what A's Day is all about: family and community. But yeah, the over/under, they have it set at 32 games that he's going to appear in. This is according to Fangraphs. After thinking it over, and I actually looked at Shea Langoliers, he plays right around 130, 132 games or so. I'm going to take the under here, but not by much. I'm going to say Pereda is going to play 27 games. I think Langoliers is going to play 135. The reason why I'm giving Langoliers the extra 5 games there and Pereda 5 less is because I do think the A's altered home schedule is going to favor the starting catcher playing more regularly. The more night games there are, the more in a rhythm you can stay. You can have that, consistent rest. Whereas compared to a typical series where you'll have the catcher might start Friday night, Saturday night, and then sit that Sunday or DH just to get him off his legs. There may be an opportunity where Langoliers has shown durability that he might be able to catch all 3 in a series. You would imagine he would get a rest in a 4-game series, but that's kind of my thoughts on it. I think with the altered schedule, more night games than normal due to the Sacramento Heat, I do believe he'll come just under. I think Pereda is going to appear in 27 games, but really excited to see what he is all about. Like I said, not that much experience at the big league level, but I do think the potential's there. I'm sure his defensive development is moving and trending in a positive direction. Just really looking forward to seeing it so we can make a full assessment before doing anything else. And with that, that is an episode. That is another culmination. We have completed our second A's player profile and prediction. Today we talked about Jhonny Pereda. We're going to do another one tomorrow, another one the day after. So be prepared for tons of content. Just want to shout out the socials and where you can find us in terms of all the content. So on our social media page, on our Instagram page, it's at A's Day Baseball Podcast. On X, formerly known as Twitter, it's at A's Day Baseball. On our Patreon site, where we would love for each and every one of you to be an official subscriber for just $2 a month. patreon.com/A's Day. Be entered to win, once you're a subscriber, to win monthly A's Day t-shirt giveaways, exclusive A's autograph memorabilia, and so much more as we're able to build this media platform together step by step. And please be sure to check out all of our video episodes from here on forward, including these player profile and predictions on our YouTube channel at A's Day Podcast. We appreciate each and every one of you tuning into these. We're very excited. March 27th is not that far away. Can't wait to get there. Holy Toledo, that's another show. Let's get on out of here. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you next time when we're talking all about Tyler Soderstrom.